Good afternoon, everyone. This is Terry Kashat with Connect Loans, and today we're going to talk about the much anticipated Federal Reserve meeting that happened today on September 18th. So, point number 0. If you're here just to find out if the mortgage interest rates drop today, the quick and easy answer is rates did not drop today. We'll be monitoring it, we'll be updating you, but if that's all you're here to find out, you could end this video. Now, we're going to get into details. What is the Federal Reserve? How does it work? Why didn't rates drop today? Etc. Takes us to point number 1. What is the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve, in a nutshell, is the grandfather bank that all of the other banks and depository institutions borrow money from with an interest rate called the Federal Reserve borrowing rate. Now, that borrowing rate is set by the Federal Reserve based off many market indicators, whether it's unemployment, job gains, job losses, and multiple market indicators that they analyze to decide whether they should be increasing, decreasing, or keeping that borrowing rate the same. Takes us to point number 2. What happened today? Well, since July of 2023, almost a year and a half ago, that rate has been set at about a 5.5%. Today, almost a year and a half later, the Federal Reserve did announce that they're going to decrease that borrowing rate from 5.5 by 0.5% down to 5. And it takes us to point number 3. If they decrease the borrowing rate by 0.5%, how come our mortgage rates didn't decrease? How come we're not experiencing that savings? Remember, the Federal Reserve borrowing rate is not our mortgage interest rate. It's where the banks and the depository institutions borrow money from, and that trickles down to us. If that was to affect us today, we would have seen about a 1% decrease. But the reason why I didn't is because the market has already priced in that 1% decrease for the last month and a half based off the last Federal Reserve meeting back at the end of July, when Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve head chairman, gave everyone the confidence that today they'd be dropping that borrowing rate by 1/4 to 1/2 point, and they dropped it today by that 1/2 point, or AKA 0.5%. That's why I didn't decrease today. Which takes us to point number 4. When's the next meeting? What do I believe? What's my take of what's going to happen in the future? The next Federal Reserve meeting is coincidentally right after November 5th when we have a new president-elect. And depending on who that president-elect is going to be, I believe is going to have a huge factor on what the Federal Reserve does. Maybe not in the next meeting in November, the same week of the elections, but for sure in the meeting after that, which should be at around January, after we've had time to digest, the market has had time to digest who the new president is going to be based off president-elect in November. Now, depending on who that elect is going to be, companies in the market may decide to start hiring people, firing people, investing more capital and expanding their businesses, decreasing the amount of capital expenditure based off so many different market factors are going to change once there is a new president-elect officially determined. So, one more thing I want to say. Jerome Powell specifically said when asked a question, will you be decreasing rates? Will you be following this trend in your next 2 meetings? He specifically said, quote, "We have no preset course," end quote. No preset course. This is the same thing he said around this time last year, when after the Federal Reserve meeting around this time last year, the media went and hyped up, especially in the mortgage and real estate world, hyped up that the Federal Reserve is going to decrease rates 4 times in 2024. We have yet to see one decrease this year. The media got it wrong and hyped up or didn't really digest the meeting. I myself watched this meeting twice, and I've been watching every meeting twice to be sure that I'm digesting the information so that I know and see what my take is, see if I believe rates are actually going to go up or down. And that's why I've been pretty damn near 100% accurate on what the mortgage interest rates are going to do. And they've been hovering around the areas I've been saying they're going to hover around. But now we're getting close to where there can actually be a change. We got November, and then we got January, February after the market digests who the new president is going to be and how that affects the market. So we will see what's going up. We'll continue to do these Federal Reserve updates, Federal Reserve meeting updates. We'll continue to do monthly market updates. And for all of your accurate intel in the mortgage and real estate world, see no other than Connect Loans, where we provide accurate intel, no fluff. We give you the real deal always so that you can decide for your family what you want to do confidently ahead of time. We'll see you soon.